What if I told you right now that we're witnessing something the NBA has never seen before? In his last 2 games, Nikola Jokic dropped 104 points, including a ridiculous 56 piece against Washington. He's hitting 28 footers at a 50% clip. That's Steph Curry territory from a center. And get this, in just the last 30 days, Jokic has posted stat lines that no other active player has ever matched. We're talking a 55, 15, and 5 game, a 25, 20, and 10 game, and even a 35, 15, 15 masterpiece. All with steals and threes sprinkled in like it's nothing. So how does the Joker seemingly do this with ease, and how does a 56-point game result in a loss? Despite Nikola Jokic's incredible individual performance this season, the Denver Nuggets haven't translated that into a dominant team success. Currently, they sit 7th in the Western Conference, a spot lower than expected given Jokic's historic level of play. Jokic has done everything possible to carry this team on his shoulders. He ranks 2nd in points per game, 1st in rebounds per game, and 2nd in assists per game, averaging a mind-blowing 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists a night. These aren't just great numbers for a center, but they're unprecedented for any player in the history of the NBA. But even with Jokic playing at an MVP level, basketball is a team game, and the Nuggets need more consistent contributions from the rest of the roster if they hope to climb the standings in a highly competitive Western Conference. Nikola Jokic's offensive dominance comes from his ability to excel in virtually every aspect of the game. He's not just an elite scorer or rebounder. He's arguably the greatest big man passer in the history of the league. His combination of playmaking, scoring, and rebounding makes him impossible to guard. As a scorer, Jokic is a nightmare from anywhere, shooting 65% in the restricted area, 56% in the paint, 54% from deep, and 40% in the mid-range. There's no clear weakness in his offensive game. You can't sag off of him, and you can't overplay him, because he'll punish you either way. What truly makes Jokic special is his post-up game. When he gets the ball down low, it's almost a guaranteed good look for either himself or an open teammate. His strength and footwork make it impossible to defend him one-on-one, and if defenders try and double team, Jokic will use his elite court vision and height to deliver a pinpoint pass to an open shooter. Guarding Jokic isn't just a challenge, it's a pick your poison situation. He's a one-on-one offensive system built to dominate, and in the last 2 games where he scored 104 points, that was put on full display. First, let's make a trip to the nation's capital, as against the Washington Wizards, the Nuggets suffered their worst loss of the season, going down to the Wizards, the team with the NBA's worst record. To open the game, Christian Braun sets a screen on Valanciunas, and Jokic finds Braun backdoor for the dunk. Here in a 2-man game with Porter, Jokic makes the catch in traffic and bullies his way to the basket. Here, Jonas tries to sag off of Jokic, and that's an error, as the Joker happily knocks down the open look. Now in the post-up again, Jokic uses a head fake to fake middle, only to then spin back right for the hook shot finish. Jokic is so strong and agile all at the same time. Here, bulldozing his way through Jonas to gently finish with a soft touch. Here's the same play that they started the game with, as Braun sets the screen and gets free after the switch once more. This is your 7-foot big man coming off a down screen to get open with a jump shot, which is just absolutely wild to see, and the next play they do it again, but this time Jokic fakes and drives, getting to the cup for 2. Here Nikola Jokic gets the smaller matchup, and I just don't know how you're supposed to stop this, as he lumbers all the way to the basket for 2. Here's the real threat, as thanks to a Westbrook screen, Jokic is able to pull up for 3 and knock it down. Here it is again, as this time it's a pick-the-picker action, which sees Jokic first set a screen for Porter Jr., only to flash himself, getting open for another triple. Because of his strength, he's so good at finishing through contact, here getting the extra point at the line. The level of tough here is wild, getting to a Euro step hook shot, finishing through contact as well. In the game, Nikola Jokic was unstoppable, but unfortunately, nobody else was. Despite Jamal Murray's absence, his lack of impact on the season has been noticeable, as he struggled with consistency even when he was playing. Michael Porter Jr. had a tough night, shooting just 5 of 14 from the field, while Russell Westbrook did contribute 7 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists, but he's not able to offset Denver's 3-point shooting struggles. With few reliable shooters spacing the floor, opposing defenses can sometimes collapse on Jokic, making his job much much harder despite his brilliance. After the game, Jokic jokingly called out his teammates, saying, "In my country where I'm from, after this kind of a stretch, you're going to get a paycheck that's maybe a little less than you're worth. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe a little motivation in that way." While his comment was lighthearted, the message was clear. Denver needs more from the supporting cast if they want to contend in the loaded Western Conference. The three-point shooting and role player consistency must improve, and soon. The Nuggets needed a big response on a tough back-to-back, and they delivered it in Atlanta, fueled once again by Nikola Jokic. The three-time MVP was unstoppable, dropping 48 points, 14 rebounds and 8 assists, proving once more why he's going to win his 4th MVP this season. But this time, Jokic wasn't alone. Michael Porter Jr. stepped up in a major way, scoring 26 points on an effective 12 of 17 shooting, showcasing his scoring versatility. Meanwhile, Christian Braun and Julian Strawther provided a crucial scoring punch as they combined for 30 points, helping Denver control the game from start to finish. To start the game, Jokic picked up where he left off in Washington, making an open triple. Now off the fake DHO with Westbrook, Jokic hits Porter Jr. going backdoor for the dunk. This is what happens when you try and go one-on-one, as Okongwu has no chance on this play. Here Okongwu plays great one-on-one defense with Jokic, but this time in the face-up. However, no amount of defense could have prevented this shot. Now on the block, the Hawks finally double-team, but they leave the wrong guy open, as Strawther knocks down the 3-ball. This play was fantastic, as it's Jokic who cuts this time. However, the Hawks play well. But here comes Christian Braun right down the lane for a two-hand flush. Now one-on-one again, this time with Capella. Jokic uses a jab step like a guard and shoots right over him for 2. Here on a two-man game with Westbrook, Jokic receives a great pass and is able to hit the floater in space. Here it is once more, as Russ again hits the Joker in stride for another floater. But there can be no kind of defensive game plan that can stop this.
One man pressed by Daniels. They go the other way to Jokic. He'll shoot it from midcourt. Oh, nothing but net.
There are certain plays and shots that Jokic makes that there actually isn't anything you could have done to stop them. But when he makes them, they're just so demoralizing. In this game, Russ and Jokic had it going, as Westbrook yet again hits Jokic for another floater finish. The Westbrook-Jokic two-man game has looked great so far this season, as they again make another connection. Now it's another, as these two appear to really have it going, as they've figured out how to play off each other effectively already. Having this from your center is amazing, as off the defensive rebound, Jokic makes a hit-ahead pass for Strawther, who finishes at the basket. Because of how skilled Jokic is, anybody can run a two-man game with him, as this time Strawther returns the favor. To get a win in this fashion against an Atlanta Hawks team who had been playing high-level ball, gaining wins over Cleveland, Boston, and Milwaukee, this was a gutsy performance by the Nuggets. This game was another win without Jamal Murray, showcasing that his absence can't be used as an excuse for the previous loss in Washington. A major reason for this recent success, though, was Russell Westbrook in the starting lineup. Westbrook's energy and intensity helped Denver avoid sluggish starts that have plagued them all season long, often leading to early deficits. His aggressive play style injected life into the team right from the tip-off, something the Nuggets desperately need. While Denver liked the idea of having Westbrook lead the second unit off the bench, these numbers suggest that he might be more valuable as a starter. Denver are now 5-1 when Westbrook starts, the best win percentage from any player on the team, with Aaron Gordon ranking second with a 6-4 record when he starts. And both these figures prove one thing: Denver need more strength, athleticism, and intensity in that starting 5, and Gordon and Westbrook both provide this. Jamal Murray often looks fatigued, and during last season's playoff series against Minnesota, it was Aaron Gordon who was frequently tasked with bringing the ball up the court to conserve Murray's energy. This makes Russell Westbrook an ideal fit for Denver's starting lineup. He can handle the ball, initiate offense, and allow Murray to focus more on scoring, a role that Westbrook has already thrived in. We've already seen Westbrook's pick and roll chemistry with Nikola Jokic, as this could make Denver's offense even more dynamic. If Westbrook starts, the Nuggets can still stagger their stars minutes, minutes, much like what the Milwaukee Bucks do with Dame, Chris, and Giannis, ensuring at least one key playmaker is always on the court. However, the Nuggets' biggest challenge has always been what happens when Jokic is off the court. Even in their championship season, the team's net rating dropped by 22 points when Jokic sat. This season, the gap has widened to a 27.1 point difference, with the Nuggets being minus 16 in the non-Jokic minutes. This is a structural issue that likely won't disappear, but reducing early deficits and avoiding the need for frantic comebacks could lessen the burden on Jokic later in some games. Starting Westbrook might be the key to providing the early spark that Denver often lacks, while stabilizing stretches when the MVP sits. Cutting that net rating gap even slightly could be a game changer for their quest for another title. But these are just my takes. Has the championship window closed for this unit, or can they still make it happen? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section below.